What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and if you're new around here and you love Champions League football, consider hitting the subscribe button because I'll be covering the tournament all season long. Also, if you're interested in copying one of these, please visit cardsplug.com/dominicrichfc and use the coupon code dominicrichfc to get yourself a 5% discount. So without further ado guys, let's talk about Group C of the 2019-20 UEFA Champions League, where in this video I'll give you a preview and a prediction for the group. You may be wondering, why am I wearing these glasses? Well, the reason why I'm wearing the glasses is because I fell in love with the draw that City got for Group C. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we always get a very kind draw. Let's just say an easy draw. People always say City gets an easy draw, and I do agree with it. So let's see if this is our year to finally win the Champions League title. In Group C, we have Manchester City of England, and they were last season's EPL champs. They also won an unprecedented domestic trouble. And then we have Shakhtar Donetsk of Ukraine, and they were last season's Ukrainian champs. And this is the third successive year that Shakhtar and Manchester City are drawn in the same group. And then we have Dinamo Zagreb of Croatia. They were last season's Prva Liga champs, and they brought up their 20th league title in the Croatian era. And then there's Atalanta of Italy, who placed third in last season's Serie A. They're making their Champions League debut. So let's first start with my team, Manchester City. They're currently managed by the 48-year-old former Spain and Barcelona legend Pep Guardiola. As a player, he won the European Cup in 1992 with Barcelona, then went on to win the Champions League twice as their manager in 2009 and 2011. After leaving Barcelona, Pep Guardiola moved on to Bayern Munich and then to Manchester City in 2016, replacing the outgoing Manuel Pellegrini. While at Bayern Munich and Manchester City, Champions League glory has eluded the manager for 6 seasons and counting. Pep Guardiola is one of club football's most decorated managers, winning over 25 major trophies across 3 clubs, including 2 trebles. But the big question is, can he help Manchester City win that very elusive Champions League title? Well, only time will tell. I know most people in the comments are gonna say hell no, right? So let's talk a bit about Man City's Champions League highlights. Manchester City has dominated England in this current decade, largely due to their newfound wealth, of course. Apart from their solitary European Cup appearance in 1968, Man City only began participating in Europe's elite competition in 2011. Man City has taken part in every single UCL tournament since then, but notoriously has never got past the semi-final stage. Is this finally City's year to win the Champions League? Well guys, it's now or never, ain't it? Key players for Man City includes their goalkeeper Edison Moraes. His ball-playing abilities is the reason why City is able to play the ball out from the back so comfortably. And then there's the captain and veteran David Silva, who has taken part in every single one of Man City's Champions League campaign. He is currently in his final season, and they would want to do something big for the Spanish midfield maestro. And then there's the world-class Belgian midfielder Kevin De Bruyne. Man, what could this guy not do? He assists them, he scores them, and he even helps out a lot in defense. And of course, there's the vastly improved Raheem Sterling, who has been putting them in the back of the net for fun for both club and country. There's also the highly rated Portuguese midfielder Bernardo Silva and the Man City legend Sergio Aguero himself. Key transfers during the summer includes the young Spanish midfielder Rodri from Atletico Madrid. City also acquired the services of the Portuguese right-back João Cancelo from Juventus. They also brought in more fullback reinforcements in the form of the Spaniard Angelino. Man City spent a total of 168 million euros. And I know right now people are saying, yeah, you guys keep spending, right? You have spent $1 billion and you haven't yet won the Champions League. You guys do have a point though. As for outgoing players, Eliaquim Mangala left for Valencia on a free, Vincent Kompany went back to Anderlecht on a free, Danilo went the opposite way to Juventus, and Fabian Delph left for Everton. Man City made a total of 69 million euros. Not bad business at all, right guys? So with the money spent, with their current star-studded 11 along with their superstar manager, can Man City get past the group phase to make a deep run in this year's tournament? Well, oh man, it's hard to predict guys. So now let's move on to Shakhtar Donetsk, who is currently managed by the 58-year-old Portuguese Luis Castro. This is actually the first time I found out about Luis Castro, who has managed quite a few clubs in Portugal, including Rio Ave and Porto. At the beginning of this season, he replaced the outgoing Portuguese manager Paulo Fonseca, and I could understand why Shakhtar has hired 2 Portuguese managers across the last few seasons. It's because of their dominant Brazilian presence in the squad. 10 to be exact. The 12th time Ukrainian champs has been regulars in European competitions since the year 2000. They were victors of the Europa League back in 2009 and made a quarterfinal run in the Champions League in 2011. Shakhtar Donetsk has been drawn alongside Man City in the last 3 editions of the Champions League, and they made a group stage exit last season. Key players for Shakhtar includes their veteran Ukrainian international goalkeeper Andrei Piatov. There's also the Brazilian-born Ukraine international Marlos. There's also Brazilian midfielder Tyson, who has been with the club for quite a few seasons and has a wealth of Champions League experience. And one must not forget Taras Stefanenko in the middle of the field. Key transfers during the summer for Shakhtar includes the signing of Ukrainian international Yevhen Konoplyanka from Schalke. They also acquired the services of young Brazilian centre-back Vital from Palmeiras B for €4 million. Shakhtar spent a total of €5 million during the summer, which is not showing a lot of intent, but their squad has depth, especially with the promotion of the youth and the Brazilian players that they scouted over the last few seasons. Outgoing players during the summer includes Ivan Ordets, who left for Dinamo Moscow. Shakhtar only made a total of €1.5 million. Not a lot of money spent, but guys, definitely keep an eye on their young Brazilian recruits and the Ukrainian international under-20 players that recently won at the under-20 World Cup. So now let's move on to Dinamo Zagreb of Hrvatska, who are currently managed by the 48-year-old former Real Betis and Kaiserslautern midfielder Nenad Bjelica. Bjelica was capped 9 times by Croatia and won the Best Footballer of the Year on the Stroke of the Century. He previously spent most of his time coaching in Austria for Wolfsberger Athletic Club, Austria Vienna, and Lech Poznan in Poland. Since taking over at Dinamo last May, he has won the league, reached the round of 16 in the Europa League, and now the Champions League group stage, which is definitely the highlight of his managerial career. So let's talk a bit about their Champions League highlights. Dinamo Zagreb has won the Croatian League on 20 occasions, and in every single one of their Champions League group stage appearances, they have failed to make it to the knockout round. But during their group phase exploits, they have defeated Porto, Ajax, and Arsenal as recent as 2015. A lot of people love to mention that Arsenal win whenever we talk about Dinamo Zagreb. Having missed the competition for the last few seasons, Dinamo are back in the group phase after making it through the qualifiers unbeaten. Key players for Dinamo includes their captain Arian Ademi, who is their pivot in the middle of the field. And then there's a Spanish youth international player Dani Olmo. The highly rated former Barcelona youth product is the heart and soul of this Dinamo team. There's also Bruno Petkovic, the Croatian international striker, who is in very great form. Mislav Orsic, Mario Gravanovic, and Izet Hajdovic are all threats going forward, while the Croatian international goalkeeper Dominic Livakovic remains solid in goal. As for key transfers, Dinamo brought in Luka Ivanucec, a young talented midfielder from NK Lokomotiva, young centre forward Sandro Kulinovic from Legia Warsaw, Ivo Pinto from Norwich making a return to the club, and Francois Mubanji on a free from Toulouse. They spent a total of €4 million. As for outgoing players, they sold the very talented midfielder Ivan Šunic to Birmingham for €8 million. I guess Dinamo cashed in at the right time. And they also let go the Kosovan defender Amir Rahmani, who went to Hellas Verona. Dinamo made a total of €10 million. So as for business, Dinamo did nothing new during the summer transfer window. They got a few players on a free, and they poached a few talented players from smaller clubs. So now let's move on to the new boys Atalanta. They are currently managed by the 61-year-old former Pescara and Palermo midfielder Gianpiero Gasparini. Since 2003, he has managed 5 different Italian clubs, including a short stint at Inter Milan. He took over as the manager of Atalanta in 2016 and has achieved the best league finishes in the club's history. This includes 4th in his first season, 7th in his second, and a very impressive 3rd place finish last season to help the club qualify for their first ever Champions League group stage appearance. Now that's what you call revolutionary. When it comes to their Champions League highlights, that's currently pending. Italy's 3rd place team and last season's Coppa Italia runners-up will be hoping to make the best of their debut season amongst the elite clubs in Europe. Key players for Atalanta includes their captain and talisman Papu Gomez. There's also the Colombian international striker Duvan Zapata, who has hit the ground running in his 2nd season on loan at the club. He bagged 28 goals and 8 assists last season. Well, that's impressive. Slovenian international Josip Ilicic, the Dutchman Martin de Roon, and the Swiss international Remo Freuler makes up the engine room for Atalanta. Key transfers during the summer includes acquiring the services of Colombian forward Luis Muriel from Sevilla. They also brought in the talented Ukrainian midfielder Ruslan Malinovsky from Genk. And not to forget Simon Kjær on loan from Sevilla. They showed intent by spending 34 million euros during the summer. That's probably the most they ever spent during a transfer window. Departures from the club includes Frank Kessié, whose loan move to AC Milan was made permanent. Brian Cristante's loan move to Roma was also made permanent. And the same goes for Andrea Petagna, who moved to Spal. Former Liverpool defender Martin Škrtel did join the club but left after 3 weeks and joined Istanbul Başakşehir in Turkey. There was probably some dispute between him and Gianpiero Gasperini. We know Škrtel could be a very feisty character. So guys, now time to make my prediction. Who's gonna come in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and who's gonna be knocked out of European competitions this season? It's not very easy to predict this group. Well, a lot of people will be inclined to predict Manchester City to come in 1st in this group, but it's not that simple. We have been dropping points to smaller teams almost every single season, and I think it's gonna happen once again this year. But let's start with a team who I think are gonna place 4th in this group. Who's gonna place 4th? That's the big question. It is not easy because Atalanta, they are new. Dinamo Zagreb, they have shown that they are talented outfit, and Shakhtar Donetsk, they can misfire anytime. We don't know what Shakhtar will bring this season. So the team I actually chose to come in 4th though, it's gonna be Dinamo Zagreb. I'm afraid to say it's gonna be Dinamo Zagreb. I followed this team very closely last season. They have a very good outfit, but I don't think they're gonna be able to manage it in the Champions League once again. Just like every season in the past where they failed to make it out the group phase, I think it's gonna happen again this year. Man City will surely prove to be too much for Dinamo. Atalanta also too much for Dinamo, and Shakhtar Donetsk, they could pick up points against Shakhtar Donetsk, but ultimately they would pick up the least points in the group. And guys, believe you me, I know this Dinamo team very well. Now for 3rd in the group, this team will go down to the round of 32 in the Europa League. I'm gonna go for Shakhtar Donetsk. I don't think they're strong as they were 2 seasons ago. They keep losing their best players every single season, and I think it would take some time for their Brazilian recruits to get used to European football. But don't get me wrong, Shakhtar could also surprise everyone and even top this group. But for some reason, I'm gonna show some belief in the team I'm predicting to come in 2nd, and that's Atalanta. What they did last season in the Serie A was quite impressive, placing ahead of Inter Milan, AC Milan, Roma, Lazio. This team is freaking good. They are mysterious, they're making their debut, and I think they can be one of the dark horses this season. And I won't be surprised if this is the team that beats us in the group phase. I won't be surprised at all. But I know they're gonna pick up at least 4 wins in the group phase. Remember, I told you that. Well, maybe 3. 4 might be a little bit too much. And the team I'm gonna predict to place 1st, Man City. But we won't get a perfect 18 points at all. I don't think it's going to be very easy, especially with the absences of Leroy Sané and Aymeric Laporte. We have already seen what our defense looks like without Laporte and with Vincent Kompany leaving the club. Well, I think we are going to be vulnerable to counterattacks, and we are going to lose 1 game during the group phase. but it won't be enough to knock us off the top spot. I know a lot of you guys share the same sentiment as well, so what I want you to do is to share your predictions in the comment section down below. I want to thank everyone for getting to the end of this video, and if you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're interested in getting one of these cards, don't forget to visit cardsplug.com/dominicrichfc and use the coupon code dominicrichfc to get 5% off. You will be doing the channel a huge favor. So guys, from your boy Dominic Rich, thanks for watching this video, and until next time, peace out, Rich Squad.